morning, garden friends. It's Christy with greenlivingoffgrid.com. Are you looking for a way to get more vegetables into your diet? Try growing zucchinis. I'm out here in my zucchini garden and I've just harvested one of my huge zucchinis, and I'm going to show you 10 different ways you can fix zucchinis. Check this out. An easy way to fix zucchini is to make zucchini hash. Just basically chop it up and pan fry it. You can pan fry it with a little yellow squash. Just slice it up like this. Add a little bit of onion. And this makes a delicious side dish or afternoon snack. I'll pan fry it with a little coconut oil. Add a little butter for flavoring. Some garlic sauce. Seasoning. It's really good. Well, there it is, all done. The zucchini stir fry hash. Zucchini hash or zucchini stir fry, whatever you want to call it. Very good. All done. Another way to fix zucchini is as a base in pasta dishes or potato dishes. You can cook up the zucchini and you can put it down as a base, and like in spaghetti, you can put your spaghetti sauce over top of it. Makes it really good. Another meal that's really good is zucchini fritta or zucchini quiche, made with grated zucchini, parsley, onion, oregano, and garlic, mixed up with 3 eggs and biscuit mix, and baked in the oven. It's absolutely delicious breakfast, lunch, or even a dinner side dish. So while the zucchini is frying, I'm mixing up the dry ingredients. I have 1 cup of biscuit mix with 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, and a teaspoon of oregano. And then I mixed in this cheese. And the next thing we're going to do is we'll mix in the fried zucchini and then add our 3 eggs. So I mix this all up, just like that. I'm going to make sure it's cool enough. I'll throw the eggs in, but I don't want it to fry the eggs right away. I have to wait till it cools off a little bit. Then we'll throw in the 3 eggs. Make sure the stove is off, of course, before you do this. This will melt the cheese a little bit and make it a nice mixture with the 2 cups of cheese, mozzarella cheese, and a cup of cheddar cheese. Alright, once everything's all mixed together, now we're ready to put it in our greased baking dish. Alright, now we'll stick this in the oven at 350 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. You know your zucchini quiche is done when the cheese has turned a light brown on the top. Another way you can fix zucchini is to slice it up into wedges like this, like patties. And just beat up a little egg. Dip the patty in the egg. Something to stick to, and then throw it in the breadcrumbs like that. Italian breadcrumbs. We'll season it really nicely and we'll put Parmesan on top. Cheese makes everything good. So I put a little bit of Parmesan and now a little bit of shredded cheddar and mozzarella cheese on these patties. Now we'll bake it at 350 degrees. Well, here are my baked zucchini patties. I put them in the convection oven for 12 minutes at 350 degrees. Now let's take them out and see how they are. You can put some marinade sauce to make them really good. Alright, some marinade sauce in the zucchini patty. Make it really good. Almost as good as pizza. Zucchini patties with cheese, breadcrumbs baked, and the marinade on top. Delicious. Another way to fix zucchini is to chop it up and put it as a topping on the salad. Great addition to any salad. Another way to fix zucchini is to peel it and chop it up as an addition to soups. You can put it in potato soup or pasta soup, hamburger soup, chicken soup, vegetable soup, whatever you make. Zucchini is such a bland flavor that it can go in just about any soup and cook down, depending on how long you cook it. I've even added it to tomato soup, and I've cooked it long enough that you couldn't even see that there was zucchini in the soup, but with its bland flavor, it just thickened the soup up a little bit and people couldn't even tell there was one zucchini in the soup. So zucchini is a great addition to any soup, and it can be used to thicken up a soup as well, depending on how fine you grate it before you put it in the soup, or you can just chop it up if you want to make it a chunky soup with zucchini in it. Another way to fix zucchini is to peel it. You have to make sure you get every little bit of the skin off, but you peel it and make it into a raw cream zucchini soup that you will blend in the blender. So this is not a cooked soup. This is actually just a raw blended zucchini soup. And for this soup, it's very important that any bit of the skin is off. I even look to make sure even the darker green edges are removed, because with raw, creamy zucchini soup, if you leave any of the skin on, because it's not being cooked down, it does change the flavor up of it a little bit. Alright, so I've got my chopped zucchini in here. Just going to add a little bit of water in the bottom. There you have it. This is zucchini cream soup. Now you can eat it raw. Just add a little bit of seasoning, salt, garlic salt, whatever you want to do to season it, and you can just drink it just like that. Or you can add some berries and make a berry smoothie with this. Nothing like berry zucchini smoothies. Very good. Another way that you can use blended up zucchini is to throw it into pancakes or waffle mixes, in which case, again, you wouldn't add any seasoning. You would just adjust your liquid to the additional liquid that you're adding with the zucchini. Another way to fix zucchini is to slice it up the long way and then cut it into strips like this that you will make into zucchini fries and grill up on the barbecue. pretty easy to do. You'll just take these little zucchini fries, spray them with olive oil, just like that. Both sides, and get a good coat on them. And then you'll sprinkle a little garlic salt on them, like that. And grill them up on the barbecue. And they make a real delicious barbecued, grilled fries, zucchini fries. Another recipe we could make with zucchini is zucchini bread. And what you need to do that is grate up zucchini, next we mix up our dry ingredients and our wet ingredients separately, so that then when we put everything together we can get it a good consistency. So for the dry ingredients, I have 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, as well as 2 cups of sugar. And so I'm going to mix this all up, make sure the baking soda and the baking powder is mixed in nice and evenly here in the dry ingredients. And then I already beat up the 3 eggs, the 1 cup of oil, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla in the wet ingredient dish. Now I'm going to mix in my zucchini. And for that I'm going to need a measuring cup here, because we need only 2 cups of zucchini is all that we need. So I'm just gonna pour in 2 cups worth. Alright, so I put the zucchini now into the wet ingredients. We're gonna mix this up. Now we're gonna slowly mix in the dry ingredients, being careful not to put too much in at once when I mix it with the mixer, or it will cause a big poof of flour to come up. So I'm going to just mix it in slowly, gently by hand, and then I will introduce the mixer in just a minute. Okay, well I added the rest of the dry ingredients. I'm going to stir this in again by hand. Alright, and mix it. There we go. Alright, now we can put it in our greased and floured baking pans. I have 2 of them here. And we're going to bake it at 325 degrees for 1 hour. So I've got the oven preheating right now, and I put these in the pans. Ah, take a look at the zucchini. Fresh out of the little oven I put them in. Man, do they look good. Ah, delicious. I can't wait to taste this. Zucchini bread looks great. Last but not least, another thing you can do with zucchini is make desserts. Any dessert that you would usually use apple in, you can usually substitute zucchini for it. So like in the case of apple pie or apple bars or apple crisp, you can pretty much substitute the apples for zucchini. Now I often like to throw in a mixture of zucchini and apples when I make apple pie or apple crisp. That's because zucchini has just a slightly different taste than the apple. So when I mix it, the apples, the sweetness of the apples help to carry the original taste of the apple crisp or the apple bars or whatever it is that you're making. So I do a mixture of 50-50. It's not necessary, but I think it tastes better that way. So we're going to make zucchini apple crisp now. So the first thing we need to do is slice the apples and the zucchinis. Now the recipe calls for 10 apples. I think this is about 10 apples. I'm gonna layer the first layer in the bottom of my greased dish, approximately 9 or 10 by 10, I'm not exactly sure. So I'm just gonna put a layer of these zucchini apples in the bottom. Then I'm gonna sprinkle my mixture. It's 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of flour, and 1 cup of sugar. So I'm going to sprinkle that over the top of this first layer and continue that pattern as I go through the rest of these slices. See if I can make 2 or 3 layers all together. For this last layer, should look good. Alright, there's 3 layers, just about right for this dish. Need just enough. And I'll put the rest of this topping mixture on here. Okay, now, as you do with any apple crisp, you cut in your 1 cube of butter with 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of oats, rolled oats, and 1 cup of brown sugar. And this makes a really nice topping. I also add in a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of baking powder, just to help it set up properly and bake properly. But I think that's pretty good now, so we'll go ahead and put this as a topping and pat it down over the top. All right, there's my zucchini apple crisp ready to go in the oven. I've got it preheating right now to 375 degrees, and I'm gonna bake it for an hour. All right, oven just finished, and oh, look at that. Very, very delicious looking zucchini apple crisp. It's bubbling and it looks to be done. So I'll just insert a little knife and yep, all the apples and zucchinis are done. Great! Get this out of the oven, let it cool, and then we can dish it up. Now one thing I do when it's still hot to help the crisp not stick so hard to the edges is I do like to cut the edges with a knife. Just cut along the edges, and that just helps to break the sugar that binds it to the edge when it bakes. So I'll do that. Then it can cool a little bit more, and not very long, maybe 15 minutes, and I can dish it out. It'll be just about right for this. Delicious. Just in time for dessert. After all the meals we made today, this is a good way to end a day of cooking zucchini. I want to thank you all for watching, and don't forget to check us out at greenlivingoffgrid.com and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.